Hi, and welcome back to the workshop. In today's episode, we're not making anything except for a difference. Nailed it. Something that I'm very passionate about that I don't end up talking about a whole lot on camera is supporting local businesses, small businesses, American-made businesses, all of that. In the last couple of years, I've gotten to make tons of friends that have their own small businesses, and it's loads of fun to see them succeed. And on the reverse side, I myself have greatly cut back on the amount of spending that I do with larger businesses. I don't buy anything from Amazon anymore. Now, I understand that that's incredibly convenient, and there's a lot of reasons to do that, but I want to talk today about what we can be doing to help bolster up our communities, not only just our local communities, but in America as a whole, because American manufacturing has taken a massive hit in the last 30 or 40 years, but we're starting to see a lot more people get back into USA-made stuff, and I want to talk about what we can be doing to support them, especially during the holiday season when we're spending tons of money. Now, in 2022, Americans spent $936 billion, that's with a B, on Christmas gifts and Christmassy things in general, and the vast majority of that went to corporations, and that is just a bummer in my opinion, because I'm guessing that everyone watching this video probably knows someone that has a small business. Before we start talking about the companies that I think that we should be supporting, I want to talk about part of the reason why I think that it's important that we talk about them, and that is that in the last year or so, the way that most companies try to reach new people is by Instagram or other social media platforms, and the algorithms on those platforms has changed a ton. It used to be that you could post a video about making a product for your small business and it would start to reach new people and whatnot, and that was great. A lot of businesses were able to reach and find new customers, find new clients, all of that stuff. For whatever reason, in the last little while, the vast majority of small businesses that I know are no longer reaching new people on those platforms. The algorithms changed, people's attention spans are getting shorter, so the ability to have this weird hybrid of word of mouth mixed with social media in order to get new eyes on those small businesses is super important, because they're not able to do it through the method that they've been using for the last 6 or 7 years to find new clients to support their businesses. Now, most of the people that I know with small businesses do things like knives and tools and stuff like that, and obviously that's not a fit for everyone, but that's not the only small businesses that we have around. We can support our local bakeries, barbers, baristas, breweries, all of the local things that we absolutely love, that we really enjoy. I don't think I know anyone who would prefer to go to an Applebee's over a local restaurant or brewery or something like that. That's because as humans, we're made for human connection. It's been really easy with the dawn of the internet to move away from the local connections that we used to rely on. It used to be that if you needed something made, you'd go to the local blacksmith and they'd whip it up for you. Now you go on Amazon and in the least personal way possible can order some convenient item that you never knew you needed until you saw it. And while I do understand that, I think that it's important to start supporting small businesses again. Even if the prices for those items are going to be 10, 15, 20% higher, you're supporting someone's family or supporting them as a person, as opposed to money going into the pocket of a corporation that does not care about anything except for money. I want to talk about some of the companies that I really like that are more centered towards the things that I care about, the people that I know, but I would love it if you guys would drop comments down below for either your local businesses or your friends that have local businesses. I want to get the word out about supporting small businesses, American-made stuff, whether that's a product or a service, or whatever it is. Drop those comments down below. For me, some of the companies that I would very highly recommend you supporting are people like Montana Knife Company. My good friends Josh and Brandon run MKC, and they do an awesome job. I love their knives. They're doing a heck of a lot to support Montana-made community. They work with a bunch of other Montana-made companies to bring products to you guys, so I definitely recommend checking them out. They do a great job. Another one of my good friends that does amazing products is Jason from Fireball Tool. If you guys have a friend or a loved one who's a metal worker, almost doesn't matter what they do, Jason is a genius, and he designs amazing products that are indispensable in any metalworking and a lot of woodworking shops as well. I've also got tons of friends that are tool makers. I just spent a couple days hanging out with Andrew Larson over at the Cole Ironworks shop. Andrew does hammers, tongs, all kinds of tools for blacksmiths. And speaking of Cole Ironworks, they're a company that makes American-made hydraulic forging presses, but they also have a couple of other smaller items. So if you guys know someone who needs to move chunks of steel around, or wants other blacksmithy supplies, they are a great place to go. And then I've got quite a few friends that are knife makers as well. My buddy Kurt Holland is making these Outpost knives right now. These are fantastic kind of utility hunter knives. I've carried this one quite a bit, took apart a couple of animals with it this year. And Kurt is an awesome dude out of Tennessee. He's a young man with a baby on the way, supporting his family through his small business. Highly recommend him. And I've got loads of friends like that. My good friend Matt Hartwig does awesome knives. He's got a couple in stock here for the holiday season. My friend Sam Wandashin of Ross Peak Steelworks, he has kind of blacksmithy supplies available. There are other people like Teton Leather. They do all kinds of stuff. I've got a beautiful rifle sling from them, but they make wallets and sheaths. They make beautiful, high quality stuff. And while we're on the brand of leather, my good friends at Craft and Lore and Homestead brand, they've got all sorts of different styles of awesome gifts, belts, dog collars, leather wallets, bags, all sorts of stuff. You're not supporting some funky designer brand that absolutely does not care about you. You're putting food on the table for real people that really care about every single order that comes in for them. Now, apart from leatherwork, there's also a good few American-made clothing companies. People like Free Note Apparel, Red Clouds Collective, Ship John. And these are people who are starting to fill in the gaps now that a lot of the well-known American brands, people like Filson and Wrangler, companies that have moved their manufacturing out of America for the most part. Filson for a very long time was a American-made brand, and now if you go and look on their website, it is a very small percentage of what they sell. And so supporting the small businesses that are making high quality products that will stand behind it, especially clothing wise. The company whose sweatshirt I'm wearing right now, 1620 Workwear, is awesome and I think very, very important. Now, an American made hoodie or an American-made jacket that's made by hand is going to be more expensive than one that you buy from China. But for the most part, it's going to be higher quality. These people are going to stand behind their products, and you're sending that money back into America as opposed to sending it overseas, which can be oftentimes fairly unethical work conditions and stuff like that. There are loads of other cool companies as well, like Proof Razors. They make billet machined razors right here in Montana. They're fantastic. The point is that there's loads and loads and loads of companies in every possible realm that you can think of that you can support rather than supporting the big corporations. But there's seriously just an absolutely massive amount of small businesses. My sister is a potter in Seattle, and there's a whole other genre of things. You can buy plates, you can buy mugs, you can buy all sorts of stuff. And if you're buying a mug, you need to fill it with coffee, and might as well buy a gift card from the local coffee shop and not the big chain that charges $7 for, if we're being honest, garbage coffee. Not something that I thought about a whole lot growing up. I grew up in Seattle, and I was just surrounded by big brands all the time. That's the stuff that I thought was cool. And as I've gotten to know small business owners and have a small business myself, it's just something that has become increasingly and increasingly important to me. Those are the people that I want to support. If we want to start rebuilding the American economy, it's going to start off by supporting American-made companies, and things can be made cheaper in China. The working conditions are terrible. The living conditions are terrible in a lot of those places. Not to say that that's the case everywhere. Not to say you shouldn't ever buy anything if it's not American made. There are some things that just the infrastructure is not here to be made in America, but there are loads of things that are very capable and very possible to build in America, and you're going to be making a big difference in someone's life by being able to support them. It's more special, and it really does make a difference. If you guys disagree with this, if you have a differing opinion, I'd love to hear it. I will be answering comments in the description down below, and we'll be updating the description with the companies that we see in the comments that we think are really cool. I myself am going to be whipping up a bunch of these guys, little forged, either paring knife, shop knife, just small hand-forged items. So thank you guys for following along. If you like American-made things, if you like manufacturing, go ahead, hit that like button. Please subscribe as I continue to build out my small business. And if you guys like this type of video, I'd love to do more things talking about small American-made businesses. We are at the very cusp of 250,000 subscribers, and when I hit 250, I'm gonna make a beautiful Damascus chef's knife to give away to one of you lovely folks. So if you guys are interested in that, stick around. Huge thank you to our patrons for patronizing us, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Adios.